Good morning, everyone. It's Dr. Arlene Diamco, the MultiDimensional MD. Welcome and thank you so much for joining me. My mission is to help bring the intuitive aspects of health back to medicine in practical and tangible ways so that you can access deeper healing and more connection, peace, and joy in your everyday lives. Today, I'm going to talk about staying healthy when the weather cools and taking 5 cues from nature. Because as we transition from warmer weather to cooler weather through the fall, then people are more at risk to pick up sore throats, coughs, and colds. I'm already seeing that with people in my office and getting phone calls and text messages and emails. But are we meant to get sick? Well, sometimes. Sometimes it's a gentle cleansing. But if you feel prone to illness, then take cues from nature. Within nature are built in support systems to help you transition with the season. So watch what nature is doing. And I'll go through 5 cues from nature to help guide you to stay healthy when the weather cools. So the first one is to eat foods that are in season, because nature will grow what you need to help you. It's really remarkable. So right now, what do you see in the grocery stores? What do you see in the local farmers markets? We have pumpkins, we have other winter squashes, all these great antioxidants in those beautiful colors of the orange and the reds and the purples. And also those seeds from the pumpkins and even other winter squashes are really great to help cleanse the gut and help balance out the gut flora. It's a great thing to do in the fall and the spring when the weather transitions. It's something that we do for our pets just to help keep their guts healthy, and something we can do for ourselves too. So eating a handful of pumpkin seeds can really be great for your gut health, and do that like every day. We're also eating less fruit. So the fruit that is in season right now are like apples, cranberries, and pomegranate. Again, we have plenty of antioxidants there. Just a reminder, apple is meant to be eaten on its own, so it does not ferment in the gut with other foods and create gut flora imbalances. But apple is really great for relieving liver congestion, to soften that bile in the liver. And those cranberries and pomegranate is my absolute favorite fruit. It's so beautiful. It's like got these Thanksgiving and holiday colors and packed with antioxidants again. We also have an elderberry. So if you are lucky enough to live near an elderberry patch, then you can make fresh elderberry syrup. So great for boosting your immune system, packed with antioxidants. If you don't have fresh elderberry, then you can get dried elderberry and follow a recipe to make some elderberry syrup. And for prevention, you can have a spoonful of that every day. If you're starting to feel like you're coming down with something, then you can take it much more frequently, like 4 times a day. And there's recipes everywhere for that. I can always leave one in the comments too. We also have the winter greens, all of these things that have they're like the cruciferous vegetables, which are also great for boosting the immune system, to warding off viruses and bacteria, packed with minerals and antioxidants and B vitamins. So things like kale, chard, collards, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower. You can eat these in as a quick saute, or the ones that are a bit denser like broccoli and cauliflower, you can roast them and add them to a delicious meal. And just a reminder, as Edgar Casey Alkaline Diet recommends, those should be eaten about 3-to-1 ratio above ground veggies to below ground veggies. If you haven't watched my podcast on the Edgar Casey Alkaline Diet, please do. It is so much information there and all really great. And there will be a link there to get a 2-page handout too to help you. So the root veggies, what's in season right now: carrots, sweet potato, parsnips. All of these are really grounding. So when warmer weather, it tends to be more expansive, then cooler weather tends to bring us more inward, and we can use more grounding right now. So when you combine all of those things, you just have like such a great palette of colors to eat. And then you can also think about, in terms of in your diet, getting some warm warming herbs and spices. So as the weather cools, animals have their winter coats to stay warm, and it's sweater weather for us. And then we could also use warming herbs and spices to warm us up when we feel cool. So that will depend on your constitution. Those that have warmer constitutions in general, when it's not too cold, they may really welcome that cool weather. It feels so refreshing. And those that have like constitutions that tend more towards cold could use more of those warming herbs and spices sooner. So these are things like ginger, turmeric, cloves, cinnamon, cardamom. The interesting thing is, again, just like the pumpkin seeds, these things are great for the gut, great for cleansing the gut, keeping balance in the gut flora. You can use those spices to make like just recipes of what we use something called heart sprinkles, which is a recipe from Rosemary Gladstar. It has ginger, cinnamon, cardamom, and hawthorn berry, and it's so delicious. You can place it on toast, on oatmeal, and yogurt to flavor those winter veggies, the pumpkin, so delicious. You could also make some golden milk tea with turmeric and with almond milk and just warm it up, and ginger. So and also the chai tea blends. I don't drink caffeine, but all of those things have these warming herbs in them. So if you don't have any caffeine, then I would take more something like a golden milk tea. And then if you do can handle a little bit of caffeine, then you can have like a chai tea. All are so delicious. So number 3, follow the sunlight and get more rest, because the days are getting shorter. And we have all of this modern technology and artificial light. And so we can deceive ourselves to thinking that we're supposed to be really active when we're meant to slow down. So follow the sunlight. That really help to keep your circadian rhythms to that of nature. Take more time for rest since the nights are longer. Slow down activity. I know there's so much going on with camp, family, kids, holidays, but just prioritize some time so that you have some rest time where you can, even though there are many activities that are ongoing, and that you need to tend to, that you have protected time for yourself to really rest as you need to, and 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 appreciate that slowing of nature. So when we don't have it in like our modern lives, we actually have to create it more consciously. So not always going out when you need to just rest and stay in. My kids are really great with that. When they're too tired, then they will want to stay home. They love to see their friends, but they know when they need their rest. And to since we are often inside when the weather cools, to get some more vitamin D if you need to. It's possible to get some vitamin D if we were spent more time outside, but in modern lives, we live in the comfort of home. So, to get extra vitamin D as you need to, and preferably with some vitamin K2 to help bring the calcium to the bones where it's needed. So, number 4, moving along here, support the body as it contracts with nature. So, with the temperature changes, when things are warmer, hotter, then there's this expansion to all things. When things are cooled, then it tends to contract. Water is an anomaly to that because water expands when it turns to ice. So that's interesting. But in general, most things are contracting, and we need to help the body adjust to that. Because what I see when during this contraction phase with the seasons changing, that people tend to get more dry, they tend to get more constipated. And so to just be aware of that and to sip on more water as you need to. You could always put a pinch of sea salt into the water. That can be really grounding. It shouldn't taste salty. It should just taste like mineral water. Can be cleansing and grounding, and sometimes can help you assimilate the water better. So sip on that water all day, and you can also get water through soups and broths that you're eating. So through your food. And just make sure that when you go to the bathroom, when you urinate, that your urine should be like a pale straw yellow, not bright yellow, unless you're taking vitamins. And then sometimes those B vitamins will really make it bright yellow. Um, or if you're if you're eating some of those winter things and beets and that red color, that can come through too. But in general, pale yellow, make sure that you're hydrated. Last thing, number 5, going inward mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It's like when there's a rainy day, that sometimes you welcome a rainy day because you just need a break and it's a reason not to have to go out and do a lot of things. Well, we have a season for that as we enter the cooler months. And it doesn't mean that you need to hibernate like animals, like the bears do. But what does that mean mentally, emotionally, spiritually? Well, you can take time for more reflection. So, if you don't have a meditation or mindfulness practice yet, then see if you can incorporate one. And if that's difficult, then maybe just do some writing where you could do that first thing in the morning or even just before you go to sleep, and just free flow of thought. Whatever you feel like writing, just get it down, or whatever comes to the surface, just get it down, and that will help you get to know yourself better. And the more you know yourself, then the easier it is to maintain health. It helps you to listen to yourself. So when we think about the energetic and emotional, mental emotion aspects of illness, um, you think about like sore throats, and it's here. This is your throat chakra. So this is your ability to express yourself in some way, whether creatively, whether through speaking, whether through writing. And but to do so, you need to be able to hear yourself. So a great way to learn to hear yourself is by journaling a little bit every day. Great rule of thumb would be about 20 minutes a day. You don't have to do every practice, but this is like one practice you could do. And in that way, as you listen to yourself and you're expressing at the same time, listening, expressing, then you see so energetically this is, you have this flow through your throat area and you can help move that. The same thing with lungs. So lungs are uh, related to the kidneys, and this is energetically, and that emotion there can be some fear or grief. So as things contract, then we tend to be able to see ourselves more if we allow it, because it would be very easy to barrel through and ignore ourselves and our inner workings. So to consciously take the time, set aside some time so that you can understand yourself, so that you can process some of these emotions that might be surfacing through this time. And if you're a parent, then if you see these things going on in your kids, then take that cue from them, because you can process what's going on. You can't necessarily process their own emotions, but what you can do is you can process your emotions. And because a family is interconnected and those dynamics are like all, you can't really completely tease them apart, then if you take the time as a parent to process your own emotions, to metabolize your emotions, then it has a ripple effect to your kids and can help them indirectly. So it's not a way of saying, oh, this is your fault. It's not that. It's not to be guilty. It's more meant to be empowering so that you can do something about illness. You can actually even be proactive about preventing illness. So going inward mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and tending to yourself. So I hope that has helped you in some way. Really love being here with you every week. And as always, would love to hear from you. If you'd like to connect with me, you can also follow me on Instagram at All Worlds Health, or on Facebook at All Worlds Health and Pediatrics. You can sign up for my e-love letters that I send out once a week on Wednesdays. And that is for my website at allworldshealth.com. And if you haven't been a member of Edgar Casey's ARE, Association for Research and Enlightenment, I would highly recommend it. I have a feature article in their members magazine, which is called Venture Inward. It's a beautiful magazine, and I have 5 pages on there about grounding, what it means, what ungrounds you, ways to help ground. And if you sign up for Edgar Casey's ARE, then you'll have access to that. And also keep a copy in my office. And so be sure to look out for it. And other announcements, we have tension and trauma release exercise classes in the practice. Brooke is teaching. I'll teach occasionally as well. And I also have another podcast with Corinne Casey, who's the great-granddaughter of Edgar Casey. And if you don't know, Edgar Casey was one of the most well-studied psychics of the 20th century. He was the most well-studied psychic of the 20th century. And there are tens of thousands of readings that they have meticulously recorded, many of them having to do with health-related topics. And so I'm so honored and love working closely with them. So Corinne Casey and I have a parenting podcast called Creating Calm Parenting with Body, Mind, and Spirit. And you can find that on Spotify, iTunes, any podcasting platform. So that's Creating Calm Parenting with Mind, Body, and Spirit. So lots of love to all of you. Thank you so much for being here with me. And I will see you next week on another episode of the MultiDimensional MD. I'm Dr. Arlene Diamco. Have a beautiful rest of the week. And remember, I believe in you. So I hope that you believe in you too. Take care. I'll see you next time.